the launch and successful splashdown of Agni 5 at one level represents the technical prowess of India. At another level, it reflects and underscores the political will of the UPA government to expand its strategic perimeter while continuing with the policy of building friendly relationships across the world. As was very succinctly pointed out yesterday, that for a nation which has a declared no first use policy, a validated strategic deterrence program is very essential. Over the past 8 years, the UPA government has systematically endeavored to consolidate India's strategic autonomy and expand its strategic space. The Indo-US Civil Nuclear Agreement mitigated the technology denial regimes which had held the field for over 3 decades. But simultaneously, the success of our space, missile and strategic program is a glowing testimonial to the foundations of self-reliance which was laid by the Congress leadership and specifically the then Prime Ministers in the 70s and the 80s. All those people who talk about policy paralysis need to very seriously reflect on the manner in which India's strategic space has expanded and its profile as an emerging great power has grown over the last 8 years. Today, India's problem is not with the world. Today, our problem is within. It is with the forces of negativism. It is with the forces of reaction, which motivated by political opportunism, are hell-bent upon trying to spread canards, insinuations, and mislead the people. If you want a repeat in Hindi, we can do it, otherwise we can leave it here. देखिए, ऐसा है कि भाषा आप चुन लीजिए, उसको किस तरह से कहना है वो मेरे पे छोड़ दीजिए। अग्नि 5 का सफल परीक्षण एक स्तर पे भारत की जो तकनीकी क्षमता है वो उसको दर्शाता है, पर इसको अगर एक व्यापक परिप्रेक्ष्य में देखा जाए तो यूपीए की सरकार की उस इच्छा शक्ति को प्रदर्शित करता है जिसकी सदा ये कोशिश रही है कि भारत का जो सामरिक और कूटनीतिक दायरा है उसे बढ़ाया जाए। पिछले 8 वर्ष में चाहे भारत अमेरिकी परमाणु करार हो, या जो भारत का अंतरिक्ष कार्यक्रम है, प्रक्षेपास्त्र कार्यक्रम है, या भारत का जो सामरिक कार्यक्रम है, तमाम अंतर्राष्ट्रीय परिस्थितियों के बावजूद भारत निरंतर अपने इस पथ के ऊपर अग्रसर रहा है। अगर आज इन सभी क्षेत्रों में भारत ने तरक्की की है तो उसका सीधा सीधा श्रेय कांग्रेस के उन पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री को जाता है जिन्होंने 70 और 80 के दशक में भारत की जो सेल्फ रिलायंस है उसकी ठोस बुनियाद रखी थी। आज भारत की समस्या बाहर नहीं है, दुनिया के साथ नहीं है। आज भारत की समस्या भीतर है, उन प्रतिक्रियावादी और उन निराशावादी शक्तियों के साथ है जो राजनीति से प्रेरित होकर लोगों को गुमराह करने में और भ्रम फैलाने में पूरी तरह से एक सूत्रीय कार्यक्रम बनाकर जुटे हुए हैं। All yours.
Don't you think that the country's chief, the government's chief economic advisor is also reinforcing such forces of negativism, or you think that he is merely providing a reality check to potential foreign investors?
Well, with due respect, Shahid, I think he is doing neither. Economic reforms have to be contextualized in terms of the prevailing economic situation. Not only India, but the entire world has passed through a very difficult economic period in the last 4 years. In Europe and in certain other parts of the world, the growth still remains very sluggish. Economic recovery still remains a question mark. So therefore, the process of reforms is an ongoing continuum. But it has to be located and contextualized given the prevailing circumstance. So if anybody is trying to suggest that this government is not committed to economic reforms, this government is not endeavoring to further the reform agenda. And when you talk about reforms, it's not only the big ticket reforms which matter. You know, the pensions, the banking and the insurance reforms, you know, which is something which obviously catches the interests of the corporates far more than what is happening in the social sector. But as I had enunciated, you know, about 2 briefings back, that look at the entire entitlement-based architecture which the UPA government has created in the last 8 years. Isn't that a reform? I think for 120 crore people of this country, for those who are vulnerable, who are marginalized, that represents reform.
China has literally taunted India's nuclear missile capability which was accomplished yesterday. What do you have to say about that? They have said that this is a political missile.
Well, I do not know which Chinese reaction are you referring to. But if well, so therefore that's exactly what I was wanting to find out as to which Chinese reaction were you referring to. I think it's very important to understand that India's strategic program is not country specific. As I was pointing out earlier, that a nation which has a professed no first use policy, it is very important to have validated strategic deterrence. Countries around the world are friends of India, they are partners, and we will continue to deepen that engagement. But that does not mean that we do not have, or we should not have, the liberty, ability, and the flexibility to protect our supreme national interest. Nandita.
National Governor, a few days back at a seminar in Itanagar, has said that India needs to move away from its non-negotiable position and as far as the Arunachal border is concerned. He's talking about bartering a piece of an area to the Chinese so that there can be some compromise on this border. Do you feel that we shouldn't take a position which is different from the government's?
Well, as I understand it, there were certain remarks which were possibly made by the governor of Arunachal Pradesh, the former chief of the army staff, in his during a seminar in Guwahati or some other place in the northeast. Insofar as the Indian position is concerned, I think the Indian position is very, very clearly delineated and articulated. There is a special representatives process. That special representatives process is a case of work in progress. Both the countries are engaged with each other. So therefore, we should allow that process to play itself out and allow those individuals and institutions who are tasked with this responsibility to carry it to a logical fruition and a logical conclusion.
How optimistic are you of these big ticket reforms happening before 2021?
Well, as you are aware that some of these reforms, or in fact a majority of them which you refer to as big ticket, really require legislative approval. You know, there are bills before standing committees. Some of them have come back to the government. Some are still being examined by the standing committees. And so therefore, you require the support of the opposition, especially in the Rajya Sabha, to see them through. If government would not have been committed to this process, they wouldn't have brought these bills to the House. They would not have been before the standing committees being scrutinized. So we do expect and we do hope that on certain issues the opposition would also rise beyond parties in politics and measure up to the plate to see that this process can be pushed forward. What? Well, we have seen a statement from the leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha saying that they are prepared to extend support on the PFRDA. We do hope that with regard to other reform measures also, going across the spectrum, which are in national interest, which are required to consolidate India economically, socially, and even strategically, we would get constructive cooperation from the opposition. And when we talk about reform, in our conception, the food security bill is also a very important reform measure. Well, I'll just come back here.
ममता बनर्जी गाहे बगाहे सरकार के लिए मुसीबत बनी रहती है। राष्ट्रपति चुनाव की सुगबुगाहट जो है, उसी बीच समाजवादी पार्टी के दूत मिले भी हैं ममता बनर्जी से। इतनी बड़ी मुश्किल है क्योंकि उन्होंने कहा है कि हमारा जो प्रत्याशी होगा वही राष्ट्रपति बनेगा। कांग्रेस के लिए कितनी बड़ी मुश्किल होगी?
मैं अपनी अज्ञानता स्वीकार करता हूं, क्योंकि जहां तक राष्ट्रपति चुनाव का सवाल है, शायद अधिकृत तौर से इस प्रक्रिया की अभी घोषणा भी नहीं हुई है। तो एक स्पेक्युलेटिव सवाल के ऊपर कोई प्रतिक्रिया देना मुझे नहीं लगता कि उचित रहेगा। आई विल कम बैक। देखिए, सवाल ये है कि कोई नई बात होती तो उसके ऊपर प्रतिक्रिया देते। उनकी जो मुहिम है वो मुहिम काफ़ी देर से चल रही है, सभी कुछ सार्वजनिक है। जब कोई नया घटनाक्रम होगा तो ज़रूर उसके ऊपर प्रतिक्रिया देंगे। देखिए, सवाल ये है कि जिस पथ पर वो अग्रसर हैं वो कोई नया नहीं है, तो इसलिए अगर कोई नया घटनाक्रम हो तो उसके ऊपर तो प्रतिक्रिया बनती है, इसके ऊपर कोई प्रतिक्रिया बनती नहीं है। Well, it is this question, I mean, with all due respects, I have not been able to understand the context. That's why I was taking a little time and said.
Better understanding of the reforms process from some of your allies, especially
Well, motherhood is a very good thing, and we would expect everybody to applaud motherhood. Yeah, because in the sense that reforms are a very good thing. So therefore you ask a metaphorical question that whether you would expect our allies to be more responsive towards the reform process. So that's why I'm saying that reforms are very good. So therefore we would expect not only our allies, but we would expect everybody in the political, social and economic spectrum to be supportive of the entire reforms agenda. And as I earlier said, that reforms are not only limited to what is the perception of a particular section of society about reforms. When you talk about reforms, you actually go across the entire political, economic and social spectrum. Hey, one sec, I'll come back to you.
गठबंधन की सरकारें देश के आर्थिक विकास में बहुत बड़ा रोड़ा होता है, क्या आप उससे सहमत हैं? दूसरी बात जो बीजेपी ने आरोप लगाया कि ये देश 10 जनपद और 7 आसिया के बीच में भूल रहा है, क्या इससे सहमत हैं?
बगैर इस बात में जाए कि आर्थिक सलाहकार ने क्या कहा है, क्या नहीं कहा है, किस परिप्रेक्ष्य में कहा है, किस मंच पे कहा है, बुनियादी बात यह है कि 1991 से लेकर 2012 तक अगर एक मुद्दे के ऊपर आम सहमति रही है इस मुल्क में, चाहे सरकारें बदलती रही हैं, वो आर्थिक उदारीकरण का मुद्दा है। और जहां तक भाजपा के आरोप की बात रही, ये आरोप कोई नया तो नहीं है। सदा ही और निरंतर ही पिछले 8 वर्ष से वो यही राग अलापते आए हैं, और क्योंकि उनकी स्थायी जगह विपक्ष में है तो अगले काफ़ी साल तक यही राग अलापते रहेंगे। हाँ संदीप, सॉरी।
Whereas the foreign minister, I think Krishna had earlier said that the Italian Marines will be tried under Indian law. So obviously I heard you have 2 Congress governments and both don't know each other's stand. So it's a very poor picture. We need to deny that there is no policy paralysis. Your central Congress government at the center does not know what the Kerala state government is doing or vice versa?
Sandeep, I have great respect for the institutional and the collective institutional wisdom which is present in this room. But may I very humbly point out that it is not uncommon that in a court of law you have different ministries of the government, at times taking different stances. It's not something which is completely uncommon or, completely unheard of, and neither it is reflective of any contradiction. It may be reflective of the position of a particular department. Having said that, we do fundamentally believe that where Indian lives are involved and where Indian citizens are involved, every government, the central government and the state government, has every right to take whatever action they deem appropriate in larger national interest. Nora, I'll just come back to you.
The centrally empowered committee of the Supreme Court has just submitted its report to the Apex Court on illegal mining in Karnataka, and one of its recommendations is CBI inquiry against Yediyurappa. Now this comes just a few weeks after Yediyurappa's claim to the Chief Minister's post once again.
Well, the Central Empowered Committee is a creation of a Supreme Court order. It has been playing a very proactive role insofar as environmental jurisprudence is concerned. So if in their wisdom, they have recommended a CBI inquiry into illegal mining in Karnataka, I think that is a welcome step. And all those who get covered within the ambit of that inquiry, so be it. Ultimately, the truth has to emerge as to how the natural resources of this country were exploited by the BJP government in Karnataka. Hanuras, sorry. Well, I have no knowledge about what you are referring to, and so therefore I do not think it warrants a response. Yeah. The one thing I like about the BJP is their ability to speak in a forked tongue. Just yesterday, these are the same people who were raising the bogey of federalism on internal security issues. So therefore, on one hand, you raise or you tom-tom the mantra of federalism, especially on internal security. You try and orchestrate a protest against the National Center for Counter-Terrorism, which is a preemptive response which India requires given the difficult situation that we live in. And when it is convenient for you, you forget about federalism completely, you forget that law and order is a state subject, and you turn around and say that the center is standing by helplessly while an honorable representative of India's democratic process is being held to ransom. I think the BJP needs to make up its mind. If law and order is indeed a subject on which both the center and the state need to coordinate, then they should stop scoring political brownie points on it. And if they feel so strongly about federalism, so strongly about the rights of the states, then they should allow the Odisha government to discharge its responsibility.
आपने अभी जो भी बातें कही हैं तो कौशिक बासु के दावे से बिल्कुल अलग है। कांग्रेस पार्टी क्या ये मांग करेगी कि अपने दलीलों को एक्सप्लेन करे या फिर उनके करने की बात है?
देखिए, जैसे मैंने पहले कहा कि इस कमरे में जो इंस्टीट्यूशनल कैपेसिटी है उसके सामने मेरा मस्तक झुकता है, पर इसके साथ साथ मैं ये ज़रूर कहना चाहूँगा कि किस संदर्भ में, किस परिप्रेक्ष्य में, किस मंच पर किस व्यक्ति ने क्या बात कही है और उसको किस परिप्रेक्ष्य में प्रदर्शित किया जा रहा है, इस सब चीज़ को एक व्यापक परिप्रेक्ष्य में देखना ज़रूरी है। तो इसलिए जहाँ तक उदारीकरण की बात रही, जहाँ तक सुधारों की बात रही, हमारी जो प्रतिक्रिया है, हमारी जो समझ है, इस सरकार में सबसे बड़ा राजनीतिक दल होने के नाते वो हमने आपके समक्ष रखी है। अब इसके ऊपर कोई व्यक्ति क्या कहता है उसके ऊपर प्रतिक्रिया देना कोई ना ही ज़रूरी है और ना ही उचित है।
भारत में भाजपा की बड़ी रफ्तारी की तैयारी है, चुनाव हुआ अगले साल, वहाँ से पॉलिटिकल पार्टी भी देखें, क्या कांग्रेस की तैयारी है भाजपा की बड़ी रफ्तारी?
देखिए, मुझे कांग्रेस अध्यक्षा जी के कार्यक्रम के बारे में कोई जानकारी नहीं है। मैं ज़रूर इसके बारे में जानकारी लेकर आपको अवगत कराऊंगा, पर हाँ, ये बात आपकी बिल्कुल सही है कि भाजपा की ज़मीन हथियाने की हमारी सदा तैयारी रहती है। थैंक यू।